Stop searching. Stop waiting. Stop begging the outer world to give you what only the inner world creates. The truth you seek isn't out there, it's within, buried beneath noise, waiting for you to remember who you are. This isn't theory, it's not self-help, and it's not religion, it's law, divine, immutable law. The world is your mirror, not of your words, but of your state. You want to change your life? Then stop changing conditions and start changing consciousness. The state you occupy controls what appears, what delays, and what repeats. You are not a victim, you are the operant power. Nothing happens until you move within. Assume it is done, and it will be. Not because of effort, but because assumption is creation in seed form. Assumption isn't daydreaming, it's identity. It's not hoping, it's knowing. It's not asking, it's being. Assumption is faith in motion. You're always assuming something with every word, every reaction, every internal argument. The only question is, are you assuming consciously or unconsciously? Are you living from the end or surviving from the middle? The world isn't resisting you, it's obeying you. It's responding to your inner speech, your self-concept, your repeated inner state. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you accept as true. Your reality isn't waiting on action, it's waiting on alignment. You speak with your state louder than with your mouth. And what you assume long enough, consistently enough, becomes. According to your faith, be it unto you. Not according to effort, to hustle, to opinion, but faith. And in Goddard's language, faith is assumption worn like skin, natural, effortless, sure. The one who assumes it is done no longer looks, he rests. This is the law, this is the key, this is the test. If you can feel the wish fulfilled even when your senses scream otherwise, you become the cause, and the world must obey. Seeds don't bloom because you stare at them. They bloom because you stop digging them up. Assume it and leave it alone. The feeling is the secret. It's the bridge, the language, the vibration that speaks to God, and God is your own wonderful human imagination. You don't force the world, you select the state. And states are infinite. The rich man and the poor man both exist within you. The rejected, the adored, the overlooked, the irreplaceable, all live within you as possibilities. To shift your world, shift your state. And to shift your state, feel differently. Think from it, not of it. You can feel wealthy with nothing in your account. You can feel chosen in the middle of heartbreak. You can feel powerful in the silence of delay. Because the outer world follows, it does not lead. What you feel yourself to be, long enough, hard enough, deep enough, you become. Not because you change the world, but because you change yourself. The mirror reflects what you present, not what you desire. So hold the frame. Stay in the state. Don't let appearances unseat your identity. Reality will test you. It always does. Not to punish, but to purify. To ask, will you remain loyal to the truth when everything lies? When you're ghosted, do you stay chosen? When you're broke, do you feel provided for? When no one sees you, do you live like you're already there? That's the test. Because assumption without persistence is fantasy. But assumption held with faith becomes fact. God became man, so man might awaken as God. And that God lives in you as imagination. What you dare to imagine, assume, and persist in must come to pass. This isn't positive thinking, it's law. Imagination creates reality, not eventually, but instantly in consciousness. The delay is not in creation, but in belief. You assume, and the bridge begins. Events rearrange. People shift. Circumstances bend. Not by force, by law. Don't interfere with the how. Don't micromanage the bridge. Don't dig up the seed with doubt. Stay in the state. Walk in the end. Live as if it's already done, because in spirit it is. Creation is finished. You are only selecting which part of it to express. Assume it is done and remain. Remain when nothing shows. Remain when old patterns tempt you back. Remain when the outer screams no, and you whisper yes, it is done. And you'll see, the world bends to your conviction. Because you are not waiting for reality, you are creating it from the inside out. Assume it is done, and remain. Remain when nothing shows. Remain when old patterns tempt you back. Remain steady when the voices in your mind say you're delusional, when logic laughs, when memory repeats old losses. Stay. Your assumption is your new self, and your job is to remain loyal to it, even when the outer contradicts everything. Your inner speech is prophecy, and most people are cursed not by the world, but by the conversations they keep repeating in secret. Every I can't, every what if, every this always happens to me is a spell, a declaration, a vibration, accepted as law. You are always talking to yourself, so the only question is, what world are you building with your words? Stop rehearsing rejection. Stop narrating defeat. Stop worshipping delay with your attention. Speak from the end. Talk to yourself like it's already done. Congratulate yourself in silence. Rehearse fulfillment in your imagination. If the inner speech changes, the outer facts will follow, not because you said it once, but because you said it until it became normal. Truth is what you normalize, not what is currently visible. Reality bends to repetition, not effort. No one needs to believe it but you, and if you believe long enough, they won't be able to ignore it. You are not convincing the world, you are convincing yourself, and once that shift is complete, reality reflects it without fail. Stop checking, stop waiting, stop asking if it's working. Faith does not flinch, it accepts. Faith knows that what is felt is already formed, and what is assumed is already seen. It simply hasn't surfaced yet. The surface will catch up to the seed. It always does. You don't plant and panic, you plant and prepare. You don't watch the soil, you become the harvest. The Sabbath isn't Sunday. The Sabbath is inner rest. That moment when you say, it is finished, and you stop striving. Rest is not inactivity. It is confidence. It is quiet inner knowing that needs no proof to feel real. The one who rests in the end has already won, because imagination does not need the permission of the five senses. Everything you see is old news, the harvest of past assumptions, and if you don't like the fruit, change the root. No one is doing anything to you. They are playing the roles. Your state invites, change your state, and the cast will shift. The world is not personal, it is obedient, neutral, mechanical in its loyalty to your internal world. If people ignore you, it's because you assumed invisibility. If you are constantly rejected, it's because you expect it. Expectation is subconscious assumption, and you are always living inside your own conclusions. What you call fate is simply assumption in disguise, worn long enough to become flesh. You don't manifest by force, you manifest by alignment, you become, and then the world becomes too. This is not a trick. It is divine order. It is the law of consciousness. And the law shows no favoritism. It doesn't care if you're spiritual or struggling. It reflects your state, not your struggle. The state you dwell in is your prayer. The emotion you live in is your altar. Your inner conversations are your scriptures. Change your self-talk, and you change your scripture, change your state, and you rewrite your life story. You are not broken. You are rehearsing an old version of yourself, unconsciously loyal to a past you didn't even choose. But now you know, and knowing is the beginning of power. Assumption is the sword, and imagination is the throne. Dare to sit on it. Dare to declare the end as already done. Dare to become the one who no longer waits. Because you don't need time, you need transformation. And that shift happens inside, in silence, in stillness. Creation is finished. Everything already exists. You're not creating outcomes, you're selecting states. You are not becoming, you are remembering, awakening, choosing again from a higher floor of consciousness. And yes, the outer may tremble, things may fall apart, people may exit, let them. It's all part of the rearrangement. When the inner man changes, the outer world must follow, sometimes painfully, sometimes miraculously, but always faithfully. This is the unseen mechanism behind all manifestation. Inner identity first, outer evidence second. So stop reacting, stop trying to control shadows, change the light within, and the shadows will reform. No one is coming to rescue you, because you are already the rescuer, the savior, the operant power. The I am in you is the key. Not I will be, not I hope to be, just I am. That is the name of God, and it is always in the present tense, always creative, always becoming flesh. So what are you attaching to I am today? Broke, forgotten, abandoned, or chosen, rich, loved, powerful. The law cannot override your command. It fulfills it with precision, so speak wisely. Your assumption is a seed. Your persistence is the water. Your state is the sunlight. Stop uprooting it with doubt. Rest, remain, revise within when needed, but never react outwardly, for the real work is always internal. And when you master the inner, the outer cannot resist. It must conform, it must obey, it must arrive. Revision is the mercy of God in action. It is the power to go back in imagination and rewrite what was, so the future bends to what you declare now. You are not bound to memory. Memory is not a fact. It is a choice to keep replaying a version of yourself that no longer serves your highest identity. Stop reliving the wound, relive the healing, go back in imagination and see it differently, feel it differently, end it differently. You are not rewriting the event, you are rewriting the emotional meaning you assign to it, and that meaning is what creates the state. Every night before sleep, go back and revise. Revise what you heard. Revise what you feared. Revise what you allowed to stick to your soul. Because subconscious belief is nothing but repeated feeling, and you can feel your way into any reality, including the one that used to hurt. You don't need to forgive people. You need to revise the scene. Because when the scene changes, your energy is freed. You are not a prisoner of the past. You are the author of the timeline, and authors don't argue with what they've already edited. So edit it and move on, not by force, but by the quiet authority of imagination. Detachment is not indifference, it is identity. It is resting in the knowing that what you have assumed is done, and nothing needs to be forced. The one who truly assumes lets go, and that letting go is not quitting, it's confidence, it's alignment, it's the inner exhale of completion. You do not chase what you already own, and in the unseen it is already yours, so rest like someone who has it. Detach from needing, from monitoring, from timelines, from how, from who, from when, from control, because the bridge will unfold without your interference. Your job is to be, not to beg, to embody, not to manage, to stay faithful to the state even when the world says otherwise. Because if you stay in the state, the facts must follow, and if they don't, you simply haven't persisted long enough. Persistence is the proof of belief, not pressure, not panic, not intensity, just still, unshakable, daily being. Show up internally as the one who already has it, not once, but again and again until the identity becomes second nature. You are not forcing a manifestation. You are becoming a version of yourself for whom that manifestation is inevitable. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. And what you are is made of what you dwell on, feel, and claim as true. Stop being loyal to the old self, the one who waited, begged, doubted, feared, bury him, and put on the new man in imagination. Imagination is the secret wardrobe of God, and you change your life by changing your spiritual clothes. Put on love, put on wealth, put on success, put on security, walk like it's yours, speak like it's yours, rest like it's yours. The world is not deciding your outcome. You are, in silence, in stillness, in the invisible realm of consciousness. You are not behind, you are not late, you are not cursed, you are simply being called to shift inward again and again until the state locks in. When the inner shift is real, you'll feel it. The panic will dissolve, the striving will stop, the tension will release, and that is the Sabbath. That is when you know it's done. Not because anything outside confirmed it, but because your being accepted it. And once you accept it as finished within, the outer must conform, not because you forced it, but because you assumed it. This is the spiritual physics of manifestation. Unseen causes become seen effects, and imagination is the only creative substance in this world. You are not a passive observer, you are the projector, and life is your screen, playing the scenes you rehearse in consciousness. So revise, detach, embody, and persist until the world has no choice but to reflect what you already are. You were never meant to chase reality. You were meant to command it, and you do that not with force, but with I am. I am is the original word of power, the breath of creation, the name of God, and whatever follows it becomes law in your world. When you say, I am unworthy, the universe obeys. When you say, I am loved, the universe obeys, not because it judges, but because it reflects. There is no outside judge, only your consciousness declaring reality from the throne of self-perception. You are not separate from God. You are the expression of God, and that expression flows through imagination, speech, and feeling. When you say, I am, you are planting identity, and what is planted grows, even if you're not watching. So speak like the chosen, walk like the worthy, feel like the fulfilled, because I am is your spiritual signature. Every time you accept a limitation, you sign a contract with a smaller world, and the Lord delivers it without hesitation. But when you expand your self-concept, the entire landscape of your life rearranges to match the new internal ruler. You are not bound by time. Time is not linear. It is psychological, spiritual, and elastic, bending to the consciousness that holds it. Stop saying it's taking too long. That is a command, a feeling, a new assumption that delays the promise. Time responds to assumption. The moment you live in the end, time compresses, and what should take years arrives in weeks. Creation is already finished. You are not building anything. You are selecting, embodying, and receiving through the portal of awareness. Your awareness of being is the only truth, the only root cause, the only eternal substance that everything grows from. If you want more love, be love. If you want more wealth, be wealth. If you want freedom, assume it now and carry yourself like someone who already escaped. This is not fantasy. This is alignment, the divine law of reflection, the mystical mirror that responds to your internal fire. Your job is not to hustle for the blessing. It is to become the version of yourself who already walks in it. And yes, there may be resistance, but it's only the echo of the old state dissolving under the weight of your new belief. Do not fear delay. Delay is not denial. Delay is your inner man being built strong enough to hold what you've asked for. A man who assumes without faith breaks under pressure, but the man who waits in stillness walks in power. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is proof that the soul knows the outcome is inevitable. When you know who you are, time bows, people shift, bridges unfold, and doors you never imagined begin to open. But the door doesn't open to the old you. It opens when the new self becomes real, not to the world, but to you. And when the shift happens within, the entire matrix of life bends to match it, because you are not the effect, you are the cause. No more doubting, no more begging, no more waiting on the world to give you what you haven't yet accepted inside. You have the authority, you have the command, you have the keys, and those keys are thought, feeling, speech, and state. Use them with reverence, with discipline, with unwavering certainty, because you are the operant power, now and always.